And we're live.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this live streamed virtual neighborhood meeting for Dogtopia. This is a required neighborhood meeting for any project any application type in the city of Longmont. We require a neighborhood meeting prior to application, so that is why we're here this evening. In terms of introductions, my name is Jennifer Hewitt-Apperson. I'm a principal planner here with the city of Longmont. With us this evening, we have Dallas Stiles, who is keeping the live stream all running smoothly for us. We also have Nathan Jones-Meyer, who is another principal planner in our office. And from the applicant team, we have Todd Minnis and Ashley Todd. Next slide. So in terms of how we're going to handle this meeting, so we've already done our welcome and introductions. I will give an overview of the format of the meeting. We'll talk a little bit about the project and process. The applicant will then do a presentation where he gives more details of the proposal, at which point we'll take a break and have public comments and questions. Next slide. So this is a live stream meeting. What this means is it is being broadcast live on YouTube. A recording will be maintained on the City of Longmont YouTube channel. During the live stream, as I mentioned, we'll take a 5-minute break after the staff and applicant presentations for everyone who might be interested in asking questions to call in and get in the call-in queue to speak. Next slide. All right, so in terms of this particular proposal, this is for a proposed Dogtopia, which is being proposed for 1020 Ken Pratt Boulevard, Suite A. This is the Safeway Shopping Center. So this is northeast of the intersection of Ken Pratt Boulevard and South Bowen Street. The proposal is for a dog daycare with boarding and grooming services. Next slide. So the zoning of this property is mixed use corridor. Specifically, they're looking at a 5,400 square foot unit in the shopping center. The land development code classifies this type of use as a kennel, and as such requires approval as a conditional secondary use. Next slide. So the first step of the process is this neighborhood meeting. Actually, there was a pre-application meeting held earlier this year for this project. First step is a neighborhood meeting. Then there will be an application filed for a conditional use site plan that staff will review and provide a recommendation on. So because this is a conditional use, it requires approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Longmont. So once staff has completed their review, we will make a recommendation and set a public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission, who will be the ultimate decision makers on this particular project. There will be public notification at a few different points in the process. First step was for this neighborhood meeting. We do require posted signs as well as mailed notice to all property owners within a 1,000-foot radius of the property. That is required 14 days prior to the neighborhood meeting. Once we receive an application, there will be another round of notices letting the public know that an application is now under review for the project. And then there will again be one more round of notice prior to the public hearing before Planning and Zoning Commission. Next slide. All right, with that, we'll turn it over to the applicant. My slides were pretty high level, so just to discuss the process. So with that, I'll turn it over to Todd and his team.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm going to go ahead and just present a few items around the business that we would be proposing at this location. I have my Director of Operations, Ashley Todd, on the phone as well, or on the call as well. We currently operate a Dogtopia up in Fort Collins, which has been operating for approximately 4 years. And Ashley's been involved in that since the beginning. So real good understanding of this business and we're looking to grow it. Dogtopia has 258 locations around the country, so they have a broad footprint, and we happen to be the franchisee for the Front Range, which includes markets like Longmont, Loveland, and Fort Collins. Next slide. The site that we're talking about is adjacent to, as Jennifer pointed out, the Safeway. It's on the back of the proposed property, would occupy 5,400 square feet, and face kind of the westward direction. Next slide. Dogtopia, for those who don't know about Dogtopia, we mainly focus on daycare, which is bringing your furry pet in during the day and getting them exercised and socialized during the day. But we also do spa and boarding. We do have an outdoor space that's about 1,200 square feet for the dogs to roam, but they roam in very specific times with a canine coach constantly available. The fencing is not see-through. It's plastic or a kind of a constructed, closed-in, fenced-in area, so they can't see out. And our hours are from 6:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. on Monday through Saturday, and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So there are no dogs out in those play areas after 7. They're all wrapped up and put away and put to bed. So it's really about consistency, repetitiveness of having the dogs come in on a weekly basis and really get comfortable with their best friends and the environment, and also make sure they get their exercise. So it's a great concept, and like I said, 258 locations around the country. Next slide. Some of the things that we know might be focus points on operations, odor, noise, and outdoor area. So odor, we pride ourselves on being one of the first dog daycare businesses to address the need for having certified safe chemicals, which is organic materials that clean constantly in the areas where the dogs are. So we're constantly, we have canine coaches in the state of Colorado. You've got to have one canine coach per 15 dogs, which is Colorado is only one of 2 states that require a dog to person ratio, which we do think is important for safety, as well as making sure things are clean, making sure the dogs are cared for. So through state regulations and our own regulations internally, we maintain that ratio and monitor the dogs closely and keep the facility extremely clean. Noise control, same way. We're very consistent in terms of our application for having soundproof walls that allow for a limited amount of noise to escape, as those dogs will bark, and we know that. So and then the outdoor area, like I said, it's designed to be just specific time periods where the dogs are let out. They're not just let out for the day. They're let out in groups, because we break dogs down into small dogs, medium-sized dogs, big dogs, old dogs. We try and make sure that dogs are socializing with people or other dogs that they would have a connection to. And so those dogs go out at different time periods and are, like I said, constantly with a canine coach. So next slide. So to wrap it up, we're excited to take our first step outside of Fort Collins and move into Longmont. We think it's a wonderful market we know a lot of dog parents out there, and we think this location provides a great point of access for people to conveniently drop off their dogs, as well as maintain a space that is within the confines of where the city of Longmont would like to see something like this, and ensure that it is away from residential areas, things like that may cause some distractions. So we're excited to be a part of the community, and I look forward to taking any questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Todd. All right, so it's time for our question and comment period. So we just like to share some ground rules with our public comment. Each speaker has 3 minutes. We use the same time standard as our city council public comment period. We ask that you state your name and where you live. Keep the questions and comments related to the current proposal. We do ask, in the interest of everyone's time, to be added if not repetitive. So if someone has already asked your question, you can always just say, hey, my question's already been asked and answered. And of course, be civil. We're all just trying to live in a society together and get the same information. So with that, next slide. All right, so Dallas, I am going to let you take it away with the call-in instructions.
Sure thing. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, so we're going to call in now, have callers call in now. The number to dial in is 1-888-788-0099. Once you get there, you'll have to enter the meeting ID. That meeting ID is 878-3646-7968. We're going to go on a 5-minute break now while folks call in. Once that happens, make sure that you mute your live stream if you do get in, just so that we aren't getting a feedback loop. For now, we're going to take that 5-minute break and we will take callers in just a few. Thanks. All right, we're about 10 seconds out from our 5-minute timer. So yes, if you are a caller and you're hoping to call in, yeah, remember that this is your last chance. Your dial-in number is 1-888-788-0099. Your meeting ID is 878-3646-7968. Currently, I am not seeing any callers. So I am going to, yeah, I'm going to drop the slide if that's good with you, Jennifer.
Sounds good.
Great. We'll go on to our last one. Yeah, I see no callers.
Great. Well, thank you so much to folks who have tuned in. If you have questions after the fact that come up, feel free to reach out to either me or Todd. Our contact information is up on the screen. Additionally, a recording of this meeting will stay on the City of Longmont's YouTube channel for anyone who might want to view this later who may not have been able to watch it live. So with that, I would like to thank everyone this evening from the city team and also from the applicant team, and have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
all.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.